Yung maayong adlaw sa akong mga kapwa nga Mindanaoan. Happy World Environment Day and welcome to Solar Week Mindanao 2023. Every day is a great day to talk about solar. My name is Val Vestille from the Association of Young Environmental Journalists, or AYEJ, and I will be your host for today. It's Mindanao Monday for Solar Week. For those of you who don't know, Solar Week is the flagship event of the Mindanao Go Solar movement and is a knowledge and information extravaganza about what? About solar for Mindanaoans. Unsa ba gyud ka-importante ang solar? That is the kind of question that we will be answering in the next couple of days and in the rest of the week. For Solar Week Mindanao, we are broadcast live on the Mindanao Go Solar Movement's Facebook and YouTube channels and our partners AYEJ, Prof.org, Mindanao Daily, and yes, this year, post-pandemic na ba? Or napata sa tonga sa pandemic? We will also feature a local exhibit of solar suppliers in both Ayala Abriza Mall, way up there in Davao City, and of course Ayala Centrio in Cagayan de Oro. Check out the feed that is happening right now in those two locations. So in Abriza Mall in Davao City, we had our official ribbon cutting to officially open the exhibit for Solar Week Mindanao 2023. And we did the same thing in Cagayan de Oro City in Centrio Ayala Mall. Dito gihapon nahitabo ang ribbon cutting kung asa nagsugod ang ato mga solar exhibits, solar talks, o everything solar. So kung ikaw taga Cagayan de Oro, adto karon sa Ayala Centrio Mall, dito gakahitabo ang tanan nga kalipay para sa Solar Week Mindanao. Now, let me tell you about the Mindanao Goes Solar movement. Sa baligikan, kanus ani nagsugod. It was born out of a series of solar-related engagements in Mindanao, which aimed to rally stakeholders around the common goal of an energy transition in the region through solar. Supported by the Tara Climate Foundation and managed by the professional organizers, the movement and supporting online platforms and communication activities provide Mindanaoans accessible information about solar, why it's good for them and for their cities and municipalities, as well as for the planet and for their pockets. Grabe no, when you come to think about it, solar is really good for a lot of things and a lot of dimensions when it comes to a person's life, no? Dili lang para sa iyang kaugalingon, pero pati na pud para sa iyang pamilya o para sa komunidad, o pati na pud sa atong the one and only planet Earth that we have. And I did exactly that through the Solar Talks video that we shot last year. Please take a look at this. Welcome to my home, Mindanao. Ginatawag ang Mindanao nga land of promise. Pero as promising as this part of the Philippines is, kulang pagihapon ang atong electric infrastructure. Kabalo ba mo nga it is estimated that roughly 70% sa mga panimalay ug mga establishments kay gakuha sa ilang supply sa kuryente sa grid. Pero ang nahibilin nga 20% are left in the dark. Walay kuryente o gapangita og lain nga pamaagi para makakuha og kuryente. Pero naatay solusyon. And it is my good old friend, solar energy. Nganong maayo, nindot ug baskog ang solar energy? Well, because solar energy is free, it is renewable, it is good for the planet, ug labi na, it has now become more available and affordable compared sa niagi. Pero kabalo ba atong average nga Mindanaoan kung unsa gyud ang solar energy ug unsa ang mga benepisyo nga imo makuha kung ikaw mag-transition sa paggamit sa solar? Kuyugi ko ninyo, kaya atong pangutanon atong mga amigo o amiga sa kadalanan kung unsa ilang thoughts kabahin sa solar energy. Tara! Murag na ako'y nakitaan dito. Hello, Miss Ate Girl. Miss Ate Girl yun. Sir, mayong hapon.
Hello.
Ako day si Val. Sir, pwede mo lingkod, sir?
Ah,
Mo ni ang 1 million peso question.
good.
Ang Miss Universe ni. Mayong buntag, palihog kog introduce sa imong kaugalingon.
I'm Jovelyn Batong.
Ako si Michael Abonitallas.
Ako si Casey. I'm Mrs. Janessa Camado.
Ako si Ralph Christian Takastakas.
Ano first question, what do you think is solar energy?
For me, solar energy is renewable source of energy.
Renewable siya. So it means that dili siya mahurot. Magamit na to siya again and again. And then, makuha na po dato siya sa environment.
Solar energy, gikan sa sun? Yeah, I think it's a really good investment.
Something new to me, but I think it's a good source of energy.
Ang solar energy, isa siya sa mga pamaagi nga makatabang sa atong environment karon.
Especially there sa Philippines because we are a nation of sunshine. Pero gamay ra gyud ang mga tawo nga naay solar energy sa Philippines. I wonder why.
Ang solar energy kay radiation lang na siya gikan sa sun, which is capable of producing heat, causing chemical reactions, or generating electricity. Ang sumatotal nga gidaghanon sa solar energy diri sa atong planeta kay sobra pa kaayo sa current ug anticipated energy requirements sa tibuok kalibutan. Kung maayo pagka-harness, ang solar energy adunay potensyal nga makatagbaw sa tanang energy needs nato sa umaabot nga panahon. Solar technology like solar photovoltaic o solar PV ang maoy ga-convert sa sunlight into useful electricity para mapadagan nato atong mga balay o opisina. Kining solar PV cells maoy makita sa mga solar panels nga usually atong makit-an sa mga atop sa mga balay diri sa Mindanao. Karong 21st century, gilauman nga ang solar energy mahimong mas madanihon isip usa ka renewable energy resource tungod sa dili mahurot nga supply ni ini ug kay tungod dili kini makapahugaw sa kinaiya, layo ug lahira sa mga fossil fuel sama sa coal ug sa oil.
Among pakatana sa imuha, yes or no? Kabalo ba ka nga pwede ka mokita og kwarta sa paggamit og solar energy sa imong panimalay?
Yes.
Yes?
Oo.
Kabalo ba ka sa konsepto sa net metering sa solar energy? Kadungog na ba ka ana?
Oo, nakabalo ko. Kung nakay solar system sa imong balay, then nakay excess sa imong production sa solar, mobalik to sa kaning power utility, minus din to sa imong cost sa imong nakuha sa ilang nga kuryente or kung mo excess, so posible mo ginansya ka pa sila pa yung magbayad.
Correct! Perfect!
Ang net metering usa ka mekanismo nga nagtugot sa pagbaligya ug pag-export sa sobra nga kuryente nga na-produce gikan sa imong mga solar panel. Sa Pilipinas, usa kini sa mga una nga mekanismo nga gipatuman ubos sa Renewable Energy Act of 2008. Ang mga Filipino homeowners ug commercial establishments diri sa Mindanao nga adunay ilang kaugalingong solar installations kay makahatag sa ilang sobra nga kuryente nga na-generate ngadto sa electric grid sa ilang distribution utility ug gamiton sa pag-offset sa ilang konsumo sa kuryente. In short, ang end users ang mahimong prosumers o mga producer ug consumer sa kuryente. Ang gawas ani kay ang end users kay makakuha og savings sa ilang bayranan sa kuryente ug maprotektahan ang ilang kaugalingon batok sa pagtaas sa presyo sa kuryente.
Right, na ako usa lang kapangutana sa imuha sir about solar energy. So mo ni ang 1 million peso question.
Good.
Kung imo ning makuha, nakay one joke lang. Ang question kay kabalo ba ka sir nga ang paggamit og solar energy kay good investment para sa imong panimalay?
Yes, I would agree. Kung tanaw na ako in a bigger perspective, this is what we are investing in the future, mga good. Even sa mong company, gagamit namin og solar in terms of alternative use sa energy. I would agree. It's a great benefit for all of us. And I think further down the years, siguro, I think mo ginamay mo major ata nga source of energy po. Ako personally, I would even invest pohon kung napukoy balay po for solar.
Pohon, it's a thumbs up for sir. Good investment ang solar energy. Thank you kayo, sir.
Sige, problema.
Ang pagbutang og solar sa imong atop kay makatabang nimo nga malikayan ang pagtaas sa presyo sa kuryente pinaagi sa pagproduce sa imong kaugalingon nga kuryente sa equivalent rate nga dili gyud mo saka tungod kay ang gigikanan sa imong fuel which is ang adlaw kay libre. Wala pa gyud mahitabo sa Mindanao nga niubos ang presyo sa kuryente. Mao nga ang pagpamuhunan sa solar, mao ang pagpamuhunan sa imong kaugalingon nga power plant nga nagpadayon sa pagtaas sa kantidad, kadugayan samtang nagtaas ang presyo.
What do you think is the environmental benefits of solar energy? And do you think na ay environmental benefits ang solar energy?
Yes, na siya environmental benefit. Ang cool magud kay after magamit ma-put to waste. And then ang iya pong kuan, ang aso makakos siya og air pollution while ang solar energy wala gyud as in limpyo gid kay siya and makatipid ka sa kuryente.
Ayun, limpyo ang solar energy straight from Ma'am Janessa. Thank you kayo.
Ang mga solar energy technologies ug mga solar power plants kay dili makaproduce og air pollution or greenhouse gases kung ga-operate. Sa Mindanao ug bisan asa pa, ang paggamit sa solar energy adunay positive effect sa kinaiyahan kung kini mo puli o mumenos sa paggamit og hugaw nga energy sources. Ang solar kay ga-produce og kuryente nga walay pagsunog og fuel, dili sama sa coal, oil ug gas. Busa, makatabang kini nga mahimong limpyo ug presko ang hangin ug ang palibot.
Okay, Casey, akong pangutana sa imo, ikaw ba o sa Kamindanawan?
Yes, very proud Mindanaoan.
Very proud Mindanawan. And do you think solar energy will benefit Mindanao?
I think so. Kay daghan paghihapon sa Mindanao ang walay kuryente. Yeah, ay kato ako mga hometown before wala paghihapon ang karon even tubig. So I think it's really one of the biggest problem here in the Philippines and in Mindanao.
Thank you. O, tinuod usa ni siya kada ko nga problema nga pwede nato solusyonan og atong yung masolusyonan because there is a solution. And that is solar energy. Thank you kaayo, Casey.
Ang Mindanao adunay pinakaubos nga electrification rates sa tulo ka major island groups, which means mas daghan ang pamilya nga walay access sa kuryente. Ang solar kay makaprovide og kuryente diretso sa mga balay sa katawhan nga dili manginahanglan og transmission lines and towers. Ang pinakamahal nga electricity rate sa bisan asa nga distribution utility sa tibuok nasud kay makita usab sa Mindanao. Kini nga problema kay masulbad pinaagi sa paghimo og imong kaugalingon nga kuryente. Busa dako kaayo og mga benepisyo ang solar alang sa tibuok Mindanao region.
Solar energy is clearly the future of Mindanao. Og diri sa Pilipinas, unlimited ang atong sunshine. Pero usahay, gareklamo ta nga init ra kaayo. But why don't we regard this as a blessing to our islands? A blessing nga kung atong gamiton og tarong kay makahatag sa ato sa tanan energy nga atong kailangan para mapadagan atong mga panimalay ug mga negosyo. Power and energy that is not only free but also good for the environment. And that, my friends, is a sunny future that I would gladly drive into. And there you have it. Grabe. Grabe, nag-enjoy jud ko sa shoot ug sa pag-produce ato nga video last year. Not only because daghan kog nakatunan sa solar, pero because I heard it straight from my fellow Mindanaoans that they really knew their facts about solar, no? Naanay awareness kabahin sa solar. Yeah. Grabe kanindot nga madunggan straight from my fellow Mindanaoans. Now, as you know, this is Solar Week Mindanao 2023 and we had the same celebration last year. We also had Mindanao Monday last year, so please check out this video to see what happened then. Last year's Mindanao Monday program was graced with some very important people, ushered in by host Grian Mendoza. Setting the stage for us about Mindanao's general situation, and in particular the energy information specific to the region, was Assistant Secretary Romeo Montenegro of the Mindanao Development Authority. Interviewing ASEC Romeo was host Carly Chua, who will later be joining us from her post in Davao. ASEC Romeo had very important details to share about Mindanao, which made us proud of what we have been able to achieve here and what we continue to provide for the rest of the country. ASEC Romeo also highlighted what lacks in Mindanao's energy infrastructure, inspiring us to do what we do in the movement. That day last year, we also had Engineer Jeff Valiente of the Mindanao Clean Energy Living Labs, or MindaCells. Engineer Jeff discussed in detail the vast energy potential there was in Mindanao, aligned with the work his organization was doing. Lastly, we had the video message all the way from Hong Kong. Dr. Lawrence Delina, Professor of Environment and Sustainability at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, congratulated us on the creation of the Mindanao Go Solar movement, in line with what they have studied about the need for the clean energy transition, not only in Mindanao, but in all of Southeast Asia. If you'd like to rewatch this show from last year, you can always visit our YouTube channel. All videos are available there. And so that was Mindanao Monday last year. What about this year? Unsay mahitabo karon? We'll find out about a group that has just been formed to pursue Mindanao's renewable energy goals. We'll get up close and personal with them. Of course, solar is part of their movement and advocacy. Today, we are welcoming guests from the Mindanao Renewable Energy Advocacy Coordination Hub, or in short, MinReach. Grabe ka nice ang abbreviation, and I am so excited to learn more about what MinReach is doing and the impact that it is having across Mindanao. Now, allow me to introduce our speaker and presenters who will tell us about the great work that MinReach has been doing. And he will be joining us here. He will be joining us online for this afternoon. Don Don is a community development professional with over 20 years of experience in community empowerment, advocacy, and governance work, implementing various projects with non-government organizations and the agencies in the government. He has skills and expertise in the fields of advocacy work, organizing, and community empowerment. He is currently the project coordinator of Mindanao Renewable Energy Acceleration and Coordination Hub, a project jointly implemented by the Peace and Equity Foundation, Mindanao Development Authority, and Mindanao Renewable Energy Center of the Ateneo de Davao University Center for Renewable Energy and Appropriate Technologies, supported by the European Climate Foundation through the auspices of Tara Climate Philippines. Joining us online, please give your virtual applauses to Mr. Dondon C. Clamor Jr. Sir Dondon, mayong hapon ug welcome sa atong Mindanao Monday.
Mayong hapon sa ato ang tanan. Gapasalamat ang MinReach, no, paghatag sa Mindanao Go Solar sa kining venue kung diin ipaila-ila ni MinReach ang organisasyon o ang iyang mga program. Mayong hapon.
Mayong hapon ug daghan kayong salamat. We will be joined by your colleagues later, but before we call them in, sir, the virtual stage is yours. Can you tell us more about the work that MinReach has been doing?
Sige. To proceed with, allow me to show a very brief presentation. Pagpaila-ila kung kinsa si Mindanao Renewable Energy Acceleration and Coordination Hub, for short, si MinReach. Okay, to start with, next slide please. Ang MinReach, sakto to, nga baguhay lang siya na himugso, katong niaging tuig. Ang MinReach, ang iyang ginikanan, gikan siya sa usa ka realization ni Peace and Equity Foundation, usa ka NGO, Manila based, no, nga dunay partnership ni Ramon Magsaysay Transformation Leadership Inc. o ni Selco Foundation sa India, kung diin sila ni bisita dito sa India ug nakita nila kung unsa ka maayo ang proyekto ni Selco sa pag-electrify dito sa rural communities ni India, no, ug gamit kadtong ilahang natun-an niuli sila dire sa Pilipinas ug gisulayan ang maong kadtong ilahang natun-an dito sa India. Kini karon giistorya ni PEF si Minrich, si Minda niduol siya kadtong year 2022, no, 2021 2022. Kadtong pagduol niya gipaila-ila niya unsa ang kaagi ni Minrich, ni PF, unsa tong mga natun-an niya dito sa maong pagbisita dito sa India ug diin nakita nga dunay potensyal ang maong paghimo og usa ka regional and coordination hub, kung diin giistorya pod ngadto pod mismo ni PF ug ni Minda si Ateneo de Davao Mindanao Renewable Energy and R&D Center, diin usa pod ka grupo sa mga academe nga gipanguluhan ni Ateneo diya sa pag-research on renewable energy. So nakita karon nga ang Minrich do na siya potensyal, no, dito sa pagtigom sa mga think tank o mga iladong mga grupo, mga tao nga dunay pagtagad, pagtan-aw o expertise diha sa renewable energy, tigumon sila o para sa pag-share, paghatag og platform kung diin sila maka-share sa ilahang innovation, sa ilang technology, sa ilahang advocacy, no, ug kana ihatag ni Minrich pinaagi sa pagpahitabo og kanang mga aktibidades nga makapatigom sa mga distribution utilities, sa mga electric cooperatives, renewable energy suppliers, no. Hopefully dili lang ingon kapag promote kundi pod pagplastar og pagpanday og mga balaod nga mosuporta sa pagpadako, pagpakaylap, no, o pagpalig-on diha padulong dito sa pag-transition ni Mindanao sa usa ka renewable energy source, no. Kana. Next please. Next slide. Okay. Human ako na pailaila kung kinsa si Minrich asa siya nagikan, unsa man ang nahitabo sa iya katong mga niaging tuig. So niaging tuig actually tama tong pag-introduce ganina nga si Minrich usa ka bag-uhay parang yun nga organization ug katong June 24 siya na launch, no, dinhi sa Davao. Unya kini siya isa ka proyekto sa ECF og kanang to the auspices of Tara Climate Philippines. Ang iyahang priority gyud mismo katong mga lugar nga off-grid, atong dili maabot sa serbisyo sa kanunay serbisyo sa ato ang grid, no, sa ato ang mga distribution utilities, no. Kadtong mga komunidad nga kuwang paghihapon bisan sa dunay mga nakataod nga mga kuryente kuwang pagyud gihapon. So kana mao ang prioridad ni Minrich. Ikaduha, ang gihimo niya is actually karon is ang priority sa pagpalig-on sa iyahang struktura pinaagi sa pagpatawag og kanang mga expert nga mamahimong think tank. Tabangan niya si Minrich maguna-una, tabangan niya ang mga stakeholders didto sa pagpadayon didto sa kaning pagpaningkamot nga makapot kining medyo taas-taas nga energy mix diri sa atong Davao, diri sa Mindanao, hopefully 50-50 by 2030, 2040 ana nga direction. Sa unsang pamaagi, so naay mga committee nga gimugna, knowledge management katong HOUD, no, katong naa sa background sa academe o sa research, nilingkod sila isip appeal sa knowledge management ng mga committee, katong mga HOUD sa advocacy, HOUD sa communication, HOUD sa pag-communicate regarding renewable energy, diya sila naglingkod sa advocacy. Kanang partnership and networking kay nakita nato nga dako pag bisan kusog ang kaning pagpasabot o pagpahibalo sa renewable energy, nakita paghihapon nga dili kini kaya mag-inusara lang sa kanang matag isa ka grupo kundi mas maayo og daghan kita magtabang niini og atong mga resources, atong expertise, atong itibo tanan, kana gihatag na siya nga venue ni Minrich pinaagi sa iyang partnership, development ug networking. Kadtong mga naagid sa technology na i-introdusar nga maayong teknolohiya nga pwede gamiton sa komunidad, nga pwede suwayan sa komunidad, diha pud sila sa technology and innovation. Ug kinahanglan pod nga kanunay ang pagtuon, ang pagpahibalo ug pagpa-harness sa ato ang mga kanang ato ang mga leaders, no, regarding renewable energy, na kinahanglan pod gihapon ang capacity development pinaagi sa mga trainings and workshops nga kanang ginahatag ni Minrich, no. Kinsa may apil niini sama sa akong gisulti, kuyog nato dinhi ang academe, dili lamang ang Ateneo de Davao University kundi ang mga academic institutions dinhi sa Region 10, 11, naapod tay mga participants coming from other regions like Caraga and Barm, no, nga areas. Apil pud sa tua ang kining galikod pud sa tua ang mga electric cooperatives, no, ang mga distribution utilities in one of our mga series of conferences, no. Ang mga NGOs ato pud silang ginaapil dinhi, especially ang youth, no, hawad kayo sa social media. Of course, the LGUs kay kinahanglan nato ang ilahang buy-in niini para suportaan dili lamang sa pagpahitabo og proyekto kundi pagpakanaog og kanang mga balaudnon nga magsuporta sa pag-develop sa mga renewable energy na technology o project dito sulod sa ilahang mga munisipyo. Of course, kinahanglan gyud pud nato ang mga MFIs, mga financial institutions. So, unsa man ang nahitabo sa iyaha kadtong kining mga activities last year, kini mas daghan ang gipahitabo nga capacity building para sa mga LGUs ug kining cap build parte sa mga distributed renewable energy system ug kaning productive use of renewable energy. Nganuman tungod kay mas nakita nato or gitagaan nato prioridad ang mga LGUs kay dako kayo silang kabahin diha sa pag-aprobar o paghatag og permit ug kanang pagsuporta niini mga proyekto sulod sa ilahang munisipyo. Ikaduha, ug kining mga munisipyo mao kanunay ning mga lugar nato nga usahay mas nanginahanglan og electrification ug dili lang kini ingon kay electrification nga pasugaan ng komunidad kundi magamit unta ang mga ekipo, no, mga masuportaan ng mga enterprises sulod sa kana nga mga munisipyo nga gamit na ang mga renewable energy nga mga makina, no, dili na siya solely dependent on kanang electric. So unsay may tabo karong tuiga, ipadayon pagihapon, no, pagpalig-on sa struktura pinaagi sa kaning local energy planning, no, engagement with the LGUs kay mas maayo ko ang kini nga plano pag transition into renewable energy masuksok dito sa sulod sa local energy plans sa mga LGUs. Ginaawhag pud nato ang mga financial institutions to look into supporting mga proyekto nga related sa renewable energy. Ikatulo, dunay ginadamgo, ginalantaw si Minrich nga pagpahitabo og isa ka tigo nga Mindanao RE Congress sometime August or September para tigumon tong mga RE practitioners katong advocate sa renewable energy dili lamang paghatag og pagtuon kundi ma-exchange ta og mga ideas in a conference type nga kuan, no, nga setup. Naapoy mga learning exchanges nga ipahitabo po ni Minrich na pagbisita o pagtan-aw dito sa mga facilities para mga tao makakita og unsa gining renewable energy, unsa man ning solar farm, unsa man ni siya gadagan. So naay mga ingunana. Na-mention ganina ang net metering na apoy pahitabuon nga mga conferences, activities on net metering og of course kanang paghimo, pagpanday og mga proposals, no, mahitungod sa renewable energy. So kana ang mga gustong buhaton ni Minrich karong tuiga. Next please. Ikatulo, nakita po nato nga kining opportunities nga dili lang kini ingon sa pagpashatag og pagpasabot regarding renewable energy, nakita pud gyud nga naay opportunity, no, nga i-accelerate nato ang atoang paggamit o pagbalhin o paggamit as renewable energy source, solar ba na, wind ba na, or any technology nga pwede aside from our dependency on fuel. So hopefully we can do that a 50-50 energy mix by 2030. Hopefully. Naatay ginalantaw nga at the policy level. Hopefully we can influence kaning karon nga ginapanday nga Philippine Energy Plan when it will be given to the public for tawag ana para tukion sa publiko. Minrich is open to go to participate naay kanang public consultation niini. So we are willing to go into that engagement. Ikaduha, si Minrich nalipay pod nga naanay pagtan-aw sa Senate nga pagrebisa sa IPIRA law. Ikatulo, nakita po nato nga ang opportunity nga si Minrich ang participation kanang in public consultation in shaping the debate, no, kinahanglan mahibalog yun ang mga tao unsa ang estado ni Mindanao ug paunsa nato makabot kaning 50-50 nga energy mix, no, kana ikaupat ginatan-aw pud nato nga ang kanang pag-represent, no, sa committee, no, na mga recommendations like ang RE as a criterion for DILG seal of good local governance. Actually, wala pa na appeal ang RE, but ang Minrich is open to sponsor, to support mga ani nga lakang nga hopefully ang renewable energy mamahimong isa ka basihan para ihatag ang kanang seal of good local governance diya sa proseso ni DILG. Hopefully we can do more dialogues with the DILG and other local government units, no. Kanang proposal nga mahatagan og RA or at least gamit sa ilang electrification ang matag RHU. So kinana ingon ana nga klase nga panlantaw ang ginagustong sundon or lihukan ni Minrich, no. Ikaduha, at the LGU and community level, nakita gyud nato nga naay kanang need for an LGU buy-in. Kinahanglan nato nga amuuyon pud si LGU niini. So kinahanglan sudlan pud nato ang RE, no, diya sa pagplano o sa financing. Ikaduha, kanang pag-organize or pag-strengthen sa localized RE ecosystem nato nga kaning multi-stakeholders ang iyahang pag-participar, no, niining klase nga engagement. Ikatulo, kanang paggamit sa DRES o pure nga technology, hopefully to with of course kanang livelihood o paghatag sa kapbil. So dili lang siya ingon electrification, kundili makasuporta gyud unta pud sa mga economic activities sulod sa usa ka local government unit gamit ang kanang RE nga technology. Sige. Next. Next. Next slide, please. Next slide.
Murag na-cut off gamay si Sir Dondon sa iyang internet, no? Naapag-gyapon ta sa pandemic era. Kaya tayo may internet problems, but more or less murag pahumanay nito si Sir Dondon og daghan kaayo tag nakatunan. Ako inspired kay ko not only sa gigikanan sa Minrich kundi sa mga activities o engagements nga iyang nabuhat so far.
Minreach was able to strengthen the hub. They were able to form a think tank. They did capacity building projects. Murag daghan-daghan na gyud kaayo ang nabuhat sa Minreach. And I am excited nga mag-discuss unya with our other colleagues from Minreach kay daghan kay kog pangutana. But I'm gonna hold my excitement for a bit because naapa ko i-introduce sa inyo nga mga presenters ug mu appeal sa atong discussion for this afternoon. Hopefully makabalik si Sir Dondon and ma-okay ang internet in a while. But while we wait for Sir Dondon to be back with us, I would like to introduce someone who will be with us as an expert in our roundtable discussion later on. He's a Development Management Officer 3 under the Investments Promotion Division of the Mindanao Development Authority and is the head of the Partnership and Networking Development Committee of Minreach. He has over 10 years of experience in the development sector, both private and public. His portfolio includes trade, investments, and industry development in the agriculture, fisheries, and energy sectors. He has previously worked with USAID's Growth with Equity in Mindanao program. Please give your virtual applauses to Mr. Raymond Peter Espera. Good afternoon, Sir Raymond.
Hi Val, good afternoon to you as well as to all the viewers of the Mindanao Go Solar Week program this afternoon. I'm happy to be here along with my colleagues, Sir Bensai and Sir Dondon.
Thank you, Sir Raymond. Og daghan kay ko pangutana para sa imuha og sa inyuha, but I would like to not be ahead of myself and introduce first one other person who will be joining us for this afternoon. He is an environmentalist, an independent climate change and renewable energy campaigner. He is an expert in strategic communications and social development with 30 years of experience as a community organizer, campaigner, writer, and journalist. He has several publications to his name, including the Mindanao Renewable Energy Ecosystems Report for the Peace and Equity Foundation in 2022. He has also lectured on energy studies. He was involved including the publication titled Challenges of Energy Transition, the Case of Cagayan de Oro Post-Sendong for Institute of Climate and Sustainable Cities, presented at the 2018 National Environment Summit. Currently, he is the focal person, Flood Reduction and Climate Resilience Technical Working Group of the local government of Cagayan de Oro City, as well as the focal person of the City Hall Solar PV Project Development also of Cagayan de Oro City. Joining us live here in the studio, we have Sir Bensyrus Gerona Eliorin. Sir Bensay, mayong hapon and welcome to Mindanao Monday here for Solar Week Mindanao 2023.
Mayong hapon o daghang salamat sa inyong pag-ibitar kanamo. Mayong hapon kay Raymond o kay Dondon Clamor diya sa Davao. May hapon sa atong mga viewers and all those who are following this Mindanao Solar Week.
We're gonna be having an exciting discussion and daghan ko mga pangutana for all three of you gentlemen later. But for now, it's time for Sir Bensay to give us a presentation that will aim to lay down the basis of a just transition. Unsa ba ang pasabot sa just transition? And this will be specific to Cagayan de Oro. Sir Bensay, the floor is yours. Please, let us know more.
Daghang salamat. Kining atong isgutanan sa renewable energy, it has a basis. And the basis is something that is urgent. Last year, the United Nations Framework for Climate Change already issued an emergency. They said that in the next 10 years or so, there will be irreversible damage to our environment because of climate change. So ecosystems, biodiversity, everything would have some irreversible damage if we are not able to arrest the increasing temperature below 1.5 degrees Celsius. And climate change is real in Cagayan de Oro. As you see in the first slide there, that is an iconic and a very tragic photo of Sendong. Sorry, I still get emotional every time I see that photo. But Sendong was a wake-up call for us. It was a 100-year cycle flood. Kining flood ko, no, according to experts, not say cycle, mabalik siya. So the basis for Sendong was the 1916 flood in Cagayan de Oro. It's a 100-year flood. But what because of climate variability, grabe nga pag-change sa atong climate, would you believe that the last 11 years, nanatay upat ka 100-year cycle flood sa Cagayan de Oro? Sendong in 2011, Pablo in 2012, Vinta in 2017, and Odette in 2022. Tanan ni siya December. The flood waters were similarly as high. The volume was similar. Diferensya lang ang impact because kining tulong nga ni follow happened at daytime, and we were better prepared because of our experience of Sendong. So that alone is already should wake us up, get us out of our comfort zones, and to think what we can do here in our community. Because eventually, climate change, ang actions sa climate change will come from our communities. So next slide, please. Now, I'm showing to you two slides. Kining isa is precipitation anomaly sa Cagayan de Oro sa gikan sa 2011 to 2065. Natanaw ni mo din na gamay lang siya, no? But ako lang i-explain, up to 2036, Cagayan de Oro will have wetter climate. So we expect more floodings, daghan mag-increase ang adlaw nga ang ulan mo sobra og 40 millimeters per hour. So, Cagayan de Oro, ang main climate disaster risk sa Cagayan de Oro is flooding, landslide, and storm surges. So, but in 2036 up to 2065, Cagayan de Oro will be dry and drier. So, that is still within the lifetime of most of the young people, akong anak, akong mga apo in the future, would face those kinds of extreme weather phenomena. And the other side is the rising temperature. Now, tanawin mo diya ka ng naay arrow, that is already 2025, 2026. Karon ga complain ta init. That is real because by 2026, the average temperature rise for Cagayan de Oro will be 0.6 degrees Celsius, almost 1 degree Celsius. By 2050, that would be 1.5. But there's a chance na dili ni sa may tabo provided that we reduce our greenhouse gas emission. Next slide. So that's why we said that the future really is renewable energy. We don't have a choice. Na-mention ni Don Clamor kaganina ang katong gihimo sa Minrich. Actually, before na-establish ang hub in 2025, in 2021, we did a study, katong Mindanao Renewable Energy Landscape Report. And we found out that kung tanaw to ang social basis no ang kwan, power is what an issue and indicator of inclusive growth in Mindanao. Ang summary sa among finding is katong mga areas in Mindanao who do not have access to power have higher poverty incidence. These communities do not have access to education, do not have access to health services, do not have access to basic health services and social services. So, apiki kayo, lisod. So, there is a direct correlation between access to power and inclusive growth. But there is also a problem with power itself because mahal. Karon sa Cagayan de Oro, 15 pesos per kilowatt. 12 ni ana ang generation because we're buying from diesel and coal. How much is solar now generation? Nasa 650 to 8 pesos. Very cheap. Now, ang just energy transition, because whether we like it or not, renewable energy will be shifting to renewable energy. But we want just energy transition so that our energy sector will be democratized. Dili lang ta walay choice kada paghatod sa Sipalco o sa Morisco sa Tungbil, wala tay choice but to bayad how much they are asking from us. We have to have an option nga pwede mo day libre. Na moingon sila nga mahal ang solar, but more than 5 years ago, the price of solar is already in parity with coal, and diesel is definitely more expensive than solar. Now lately, Pag-ibig has already offered its multi-purpose loan for solar installation in homes. So, ug ato magong i-democratize just energy transition is actually democratizing power. So if we have our own power supply, dili na kita magdepende sa atong power industry, which unfortunately is controlled by how many? 15, 25 families nationwide. So, munang atong one, there is social basis and there is a need for just energy transition, because without just energy transition, ang mga dagko ra gyapon ang magbaligya sa ato og solar energy, renewable energy nga barato, but they will sell it to us at a high price. Next slide, please. Now, I'm showing to you a slide, no? That picture, I chose that picture because it's a very powerful picture. Sometimes the solution lies in the problem. Now, gahimo ang local government kagende atong city, local environment, and natural resource office. Bago na sila nahuman og greenhouse gas quantification for Cagayan de Oro. Now, number one source of greenhouse gas emissions sa Cagayan is commercial stationary fuel. So, then second, residential. Nausa man ni siya. Buildings kini ug mga balay. That's 32.68% of the greenhouse gas emission of Cagayan de Oro. Greenhouse gas emission, primarily that is carbon dioxide, which is the reason why we have climate change. Now, unsa man ang naanang duha? Balay ug building. Atop, roofings. Now, these are platforms where we can put solar panels and produce cheap and sustainable renewable electricity. So, murang yun ako nga, it provides us an opportunity. The solution of the problem, the solution is in the problem itself. So, munang atong kampanya. And we are happy. I always mention this in my talks on renewable energy. Perhaps at Cagayan de Oro, we have the highest increase in renewable energy, especially solar adoption usage. Now, 2004, Cagayan de Oro was the leading solar producer in Southeast Asia when the 1 megawatt on-grid solar power plant of Sipalco in Indahag was commissioned. But it has not grown much ever since. Now, 2017, a startup local company started installing solar energies. Humble kini sila, but when I look at their portfolio, they have installed almost 5 megawatts already in the rooftops. That's 4 or 5 times the on-grid. So that shows that people are also adapting. There is opportunity. Ako mentioned that that's Green Energy Solar Corporation, no? Where we have to be very proud of it nga pwede di ay. Ang ato lang is ato pang ipakalap ang awareness. Ang katong affordability, as I said, like if you are a member of Pag-ibig in good standing, you can now apply for multi-purpose loan to have your homes installed with solar panels so that you can save 40-30% of electricity. Now kami ang gimo karon sa City Hall under the administration of Mayor Clarix Uy. Nahuman na ang atong detailed engineering design and program of works. 8 buildings of City Hall will soon have solar panels installed. That would create another savings of 30 to 40%. Itong City Hall, ang usage, peak usage niya is adlaw. No, gawa sa atong City Hospital na 24 hours ang operation. Now, hopefully, we will have the funding for that released, approved and released. So that would be, that's around more than 1 megawatts actually. So, pasalamat na because Mayor Clarence has showed political will na dili lang na istorya but we have to do something. And we also have now developing a program on flood reduction and climate resilience. But amo na na dili siguro flood reduction lang. Kay mag-drought man day again there in the next 10 years. More drought, more drier. So maybe we have to really focus on water management para na po tayo sustainable use sa atong tubig. Now, ganina, sumpay ko lang sa katong putol nga istorya ni Dondon. Kaya gyud nato nga ang Mindanao will have 50% renewable energy, 50% fossil fuel. Now, more than 10 years ago, muna yung pait kayo sa atong experience because ang dependence sa Mindanao sa renewable energy nawala right before our eyes. Nawala nabali ang dependence sa Mindanao to fossil fuel in the last 10, 12, 15 years. Dependent na ta sa diesel and coal. So, but pwede lagi natin na siya mabalik sa 50-50 by 2050. The target, 2030. The target of government is 35% by 2030 and 50% by 2040. Now, we have listed there, I have listed there 10 ways or opportunities nga by 2030, mabalik na to ang fossil fuel, renewable energy parity sa Mindanao. Now, una dia is ang atong pag-rehabilitate sa Agus Pulangi. That could easily give us an additional 900 to 1,000 megawatts. Kining renewable portfolio standards, which is provided for sa atong renewable energy law, since 2020, required ang tanan nga electric utilities, si Palco, Moresco, kini mga cooperatives o mga distribution companies, nga at least 1% of their power should come from renewable energy annually until 2030. So by 2030, na sila at least 10% of their power from renewable energy. By 2023, this year, 19 of the 23 electric utilities in Mindanao will no longer be compliant to the RPS. Ang rason magunila sa una, nga dili kay sila, wala sila nag-prepare og mag-comply sa RPS, kay na-contracted na ang ilang power dito sa coal. Kining coal plant nato sa Mindanao Coal sa Stayag. But in 2028, that will be mo-end na po ng iyang franchise. So, mag-end na po katong gi-enter nga mga 25 years nga purchase power agreements between energy producers, the IPPs, we call them, o mga electric cooperatives and distribution companies, we expire na po na this year up to 2025. So there is really opportunity for our electric utilities to buy coal. But there has to be an investment also sa more generation sa renewable energy. Now, this is the beauty of it because last year, the DOE agreed, issued a memorandum na for attract investors if they partner with an electric co-op or an electric company, distribution company, gitawagan ng embedded power, up to 5 megawatts renewable energy in Mindanao and Visayas and 10 megawatts for Luzon. Dili na required ang competitive selection process. So that's sa layman term ka nagitawag kay bidding. No, nya naay mga taxes nga gi-relax. So that encourages electric utilities to partner with investors in renewable energy to go into partnership for embedded generation. Daghan pa kining mga LGUs nato kato na mention ni Doon nga duha na actually ang balaod nato is renewable energy and efficiency. Now, because we can also reduce carbon emission by using efficient appliances like in LED technology, inverter technologies. So ang target sa under the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Law, RA 11285, 10% sa mga government agencies. Dapat government agencies should reduce their consumption by 10%. Then local government units are required to come up with local energy plan. Ongoing nga tong local energy planning sa Cagayan de Oro. Cagayan de Oro also is one of the few LGUs nga nalura na tay energy code. No? Then the second would be katong renewable energy law nga i-encourage ang government. Like local governments can of course invest in power because it has a mandate for economic enterprise. So daghan then encourage itong capital kanang bag-ulang. This is my last point for this segment. Bag-ulang na issue ang NGCP ang contractor nato sa franchise sa atong transmission lines. Kay dagko kay sila ginansya pero mga dagko nga project sila wala na human. Natungod ato gidali nila og interconnect ang one island in the Visayas and Luzon. And now we're asking they said that by this month of July i-connect na ang Visayas grid ug Mindanao grid. I just learned that example in Negros Island, they have surplus renewable energy. Daghan silang solar dito, daghan po silang geothermal. Now, if we can be interconnected with priority dispatch sa excess RE sa Visayas, makadugang na sa atong RE supply sa Mindanao. Oh, but what I'm saying, napulo man akong gilista dia, is daghan kay mahimo. It's very doable nga mahimong by 2030 50-50 na ang Mindanao. Sayop din ng nasulat na 2050. 2030 na. By 2040, dapat ko majority na ang atong renewable energy for Mindanao. So, siguro ato padugangan pa na ni Sir Dondon o ni Sir Raymond kay naputol na ba to si Dondon kay kanina.
Thank you kaayo Sir Bensay no. Importante na ganahan kay ko sa imong gibuhat nga nagsugod ka sa picture of Sendong because it reminds us why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. Why we're wanting to transition to renewable energy, and it goes back to the conversation of the climate crisis. And it's not a question of whether the climate is changing, but a question of when are we going to take action. Kaya naga-change na ang atong climate and it is negatively impacting the most vulnerable communities, especially Cagayan de Oro. Ug ato nang nakitaan sa Sendong. Di pa gyud to typhoon Sendong, tropical storm Sendong lang to. Pero grabe ang devastation nga giagi sa Cagayan de Oro. Thank you for setting the foundation and giving us a very comprehensive and in fact, if I could say, very inspirational na orientation on why we need to do RE in the first place, Sir Bensay, ug how we can get there. Now, I would like to call back, nana sila karon sa atong virtual stage, no? Si Sir Dondon. Sir Dondon, welcome back. O si Sir Raymond for a quick discussion lang, no? Based on the presentations that we have had. I want to go straight to the point. You mentioned 10 points, and Sir Dondon and Sir Raymond can join us in this conversation. Of course, you're part of this conversation. Sir Bensay mentioned 10 points that we can do to reach the goals by 2050. Gusto ko makabalo. It's very practical and it's very specific. But my question is, what is stopping us? Or what is stopping the government? Or what is stopping institutions from implementing the 10 points? Or from doing the 10 points that you had mentioned? Anyone from our speakers can try the first bat to answer. Sir Raymond, I see your smile there. Murag naa kay feeling nako naa kay ikaingon.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sir Raymond.
Yes, here's the rub, no? People think when we put in targets like 50% renewable energy by 2030, people automatically think na, or ask the question, what is the government going to do about this? No? But the question really should have been or should be, what are we going to do about it? Because, technically, the power industry is deregulated. Government is no longer in the business of putting up power plants. Okay, so even if we're talking about renewable energy power plants, government is no longer in the business of putting up power plants. No, to hit that target really requires a whole of nation approach. It's not just the government, but the public sector as well. And of course, we're going to need also the help of the civil society sector in promoting renewable energy. Because, renewable energy, while the source of the energy is free, the technology to capture that energy and turn it into something useful, something productive, okay, like electricity, is going to take capital. Okay? So it's going to take investments on the part of the private sector. It's going to take investments on the part of civil society, foreign donors like the Tara Foundation and the Peace and Equity Foundation, who's doing a really, really good job of promoting the use of renewable energy in the off-grid areas, which is what we are also promoting with Minda, no? Okay, because one, we still have a lot of off-grid areas here in Mindanao, okay, and then two, even if they're not off-grid, they are making use of expensive diesel generated electricity. Okay. Now, here's one thing that we in Minda, along with Minrich, would like to emphasize. No? A lot of the people in Mindanao are employed in the agriculture and fisheries sectors. Okay, more than half of our people are employed in the agricultural value chain. Hindi lang po yung farmers nagtatanim ng palay or nagtatanim ng saging or nagtatanim ng coffee. These are all the people also involved not just in planting but also in processing, marketing, and transporting these agricultural goods. So damay-damay po yan lahat. That's why we say that, if we want to make an impact on poverty levels, and mind you, okay, knowing that more than half of our people are involved in agriculture and fisheries, no, karamihan din sa kanila, ang farmers and fisher folk, are also mired in poverty. That's why if we are going to make a dent in our poverty lines, no, we must put an effort into energizing and making our agriculture and our fishery sectors more efficient, more productive through the use of energy, and not just energy, mind you, renewable energy.
Thank you, Sir Raymond. Would
Yeah,
Sir Bansay, yes.
I will cite to you a concrete example. Diya sa Talakag, diya sa Mirayon, na yung mga coffee producers diya. Then, kato mga coffee lovers nga balo sila kato mga specialty coffee, kinanglan ma-maintain ang certain degree of humidity and moisture. So you have to maintain a certain degree of humidity and heat when you process the coffee. So, but for them to have that, kinahanglan sila humidifier. And mugasto kuno sila og tag 100 to 150,000 a month nga kuryente kung dito sila mo plug sa grid. Now, there is this concept of gitawag to pure productive uses of renewable energy. Nga na may adlaw, naman sila biomass dito nga kini mga sagbot-sagbot nga puya to himo biomass fuel. So pwede to sila day nga maghimo ta dito og power plant nga igo ra pod sa ilang need. No, nya una excess gabiton nila sa ilang kuryente pagkagabi. Then they can sell their product at pila man ang kilo karon sa ordinary nga beans, nasa 150, 200. Kung kini mga specialty coffee, nasa 500. So, laay gwapo nga, patsada nga economic opportunity. Nga po isa ka concept nga dili ta magsalig sa grid. Kay kabalo mo ato sa bukid, ang mahal kay diha pagkutay isang transmission line. Like, ang estimate yun is nasa 900,000 to 1.2 million per kilometer. Now, maghimo kayo ito gitawag og decentralized renewable energy systems dito sa komunidad nga na 20 ka balay o sa kasityo. At that amount, makahimo ka na og mayo nga solar plant dito nga kanang distributed renewable energy system, uh, barato pa. You give access to power to rural communities. Nga dili lang ta magsalig sa katong the traditional way, i-connect na to sa grid. Kay mahal kayo ang ang transmission lines. Tulungan ko ning atong energy industry. Generation, we have the transmission and the distribution. Now, kada tuluan na nanay cost. Like si generation pinakadako. Diesel karon nasa 12 pesos per kilowatt. Pero mag-charge pa man na og wheeling rates. Katong gitawag katong paggamit nimo sa transmission lines, nanay bayad kada gi-operate sa NGCP. Then naapay distribution charges sa si Palco for example or Moresco, wala mabuta og 15 pesos. So ug magditso ka nga dili na ka magasto og milyon para sa transmission line, maghimo lang ta og planta dito nga sapat sa need sa community ug sa ilang agriculture activity for example.
I did not even realize until very a couple of weeks ago lang when I met someone from CREST, the Center for Renewable Energy of Science and Science and Technology, nga taga Manila, nga ningon sila nga mahal ang kuryente diri sa Mindanao. 15 pesos as you said. Anak ko pila day sa Manila. So around 11 to 12 pesos. So wow, we are so used to just paying and we don't even realize that there are high costs to the energy. But Sir Raymond, thank you for the mention on whole of nation approach. It's really something to think about. And Sir Bensai for giving us more practical examples also of how the benefits look like when you want to do your shift to renewable energy. Now, according to NREP, you mentioned this, the goal is in the power mix, in the energy, in the power generation, 30% by 35% by 2030 and 50% by 2040. The $1 million question is, it's all 7 years to go before we reach 2030. Is this remotely possible? Are we able to achieve this goal? Where are we in terms of trying to achieve that goal?
I'll give you the figures. Ang demand sa Mindanao grid by 2030 is nasa around 6,000 megawatts. Karon ang atong kwanta karon murag 28% ra ang atong renewable energy. So na kaya pasunong nga 12%. Pero butal to og 50%, we have to have 3,000 megawatts additional by 2030. Now, you can imagine if all the 23 electric utility cooperatives and corporations in Mindanao will source 10% of their power from renewable energy. I don't know, eksakto ba kung that's 10%, 2% na lang atong kulang.
Mhm.
2% atong balanse.
So murag na upwards trajectory.
Yeah, but like
na
I mentioned, Agus Pulangi, that's an additional, that's an additional of 900 megawatts. Katong sa RPS, efficiency, you reduce power by 10% tanan mga buildings by use of inverter technologies and LED.
Yeah.
Pure, katong imbes nga katong mga gagmay-gagmay na to, nga katong mangingisda diya nga kinahanglan sila grep o freezer o na may mga solar karon nga solar nga mini ice plants. It's really very very doable, no?
Mhm.
So it's a mix of dagko o gagmay, but here's the catch. We have to increase the awareness of the people to demand, because power is commodity. Yun ni sa Raymond Gaina nga deregulated, so private sector, market forces. So we have to empower the people to say, we want renewable energy. We don't want dirty fossil fuel energy. Siguro mas dako pa ang atong makabot sa 2030 if eventually the people are aware and would demand to have renewable energy.
And hopefully it's in programs like this, like Solar Week Mindanao 2023, that will really help raise the awareness and really push for the public to demand for renewable energy in the first place. Sir Don, are you here with us? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In addition sa
sinabi ni Bensay kanina, no? In fact, meron tayong 953 megawatt na nasa indicative level pa, mode pa sa DOE. No? Ibig sabihin na identify na ito, pero kailangan na lang itong ponduhan. May mga requirements siguro na kailangang i-meet, pero we are talking about 953 megawatt na hindi pa na-i-implement. So, dagdag yan sa mga existing natin. Pangalawa, kamakailan lang binuksan, no? Di ba, giablihan sa DOE ang kadtong JAP, kadtong pag-auction sa 11,600 na megawatt nga pwede, no? Giaghat tong mga gusto mo bid kadtong mga tawag ini, mga investors. Pwede tanawon, pwede sila mo invest ng ining musuluray nga 11,600 megawatt in the next 3 years, no? In the next 3 years. So, kanang hisgutanan kung 50-50 kaya siya tanaw na to, kaya, no? Kaya kung paningkamutan nato nga maaprubahan, maimplementar kini mga project nga nakaungot karon sa ato ang gobyerno.
Thank you, Sir Dondon. Sir Bensay, you mentioned ganina about the greenhouse gas emissions. That was a newly released study, no? Greenhouse gas emissions quantification sa Cagayan de Oro. Nga more than 30% nasa households, ana. In the bigger picture, the Philippines contributes, if I'm not mistaken, less than 0% of global emissions. And I think that is where the hesitation was coming from in the past when President Duterte was trying to not sign the Paris Agreement, but of course, eventually, na-sign natong Paris Agreement. I think it's important from your expert voices why we need to take part in this transition to renewable energy, even though the Philippines does not contribute less than 0% in terms of global emissions. Nganong importante for me as a Filipino, as a Mindanaoan, to still be part of this conversation, ug buhaton gyapon ang atong efforts to make sure that even in our households, the household level, community level, society level in the Philippines, we still need to reduce our greenhouse gases.
Dali na, sa international negotiations na may differentiated accountability sa katong net emitter o katong kwanta, dili kay significant. Pero as we said, renewable energy is cleaner, it's good for your health, it's cheaper, and in the scheme of things, if we're made to choose between dirty and clean, and expensive and cheaper, it is most logical for us to go here. But the challenge really is how to put that options on the table. So munang hub, Minrich hub siya. Because this is a platform nga atong i-advocate, atong ipag-istorya ni si Raymond, ni Dondon,
excuse me.
paano na ito ma-enable ang pag-adapt sa market sa mga tao sa renewable energy.
Yeah. Would any other panelists want to add to that, siguro? And yeah, go ahead, Sir Raymond.
It's in addition to what Ben said, no, it's on two levels, practicality or pragmatism, and it's a matter of principle. Let's talk about principle first, no. As responsible Mindanaoans, as responsible citizens, not just of the Philippines, but as responsible citizens of the world, no, we have a collective responsibility to reduce greenhouse gases because science has shown us that there's a danger of increasing world temperatures, and it's going to affect our climate and not just our weather patterns. It's going to be bad for everyone. Okay, now even if our contributions are minuscule compared to the industrialized nations, that does not mean that we're just going to sit on our laurels and continue producing carbon because it's going to be minuscule over the long run. But no, we don't do that. Okay? We are responsible people, and we are expected to do our part. And second level of on the level of pragmatism, it's cheaper to rely on renewable energy over the long run because we won't be relying so much on fossil fuels, which are predominantly sourced from the Middle East, from Russia, from the United States, and any other countries who are controlling the supply of fossil fuels. No? The more we rely on ourselves, the better off we will be the less we will be susceptible to fluctuations in the prices of oil fuel, and as well as fluctuations in foreign exchange. So it's not just a matter of principle. It's not just a matter of being wise. It's also a matter of being pragmatic about it and trying to save on cost while maintaining a cleaner environment for everyone over the long term.
I love that. Thank you, Sir Raymond. Now, if we could trace back a little bit to Minreach. Minreach has done a lot, and you also mentioned about the projects that you will be doing in the future. But gusto lang namo mabalaan no, how difficult was it to form Minreach? Like sa inception stages, what were the challenges? What were the main challenges that um, nakaingon mo nga naglisod yun mo, making sure that the strategic approaches of Minreach achieve what it is bound to achieve.
Dali na. Ang history sa Minridge, atubay nun sa tulo. 2020, 21 to 22, then karon nga na nag-hub na opisina. Si Sir Rondon, na sa opisina dito sa Ateneo. No? We started with listing and consulting with stakeholders. So, kanang mga renewable energy installers, electric co-ops, financial institutions, academe, kitapok na to na. And I thought that it was difficult because it was done during the pandemic. Online. But the enthusiasm was there.
Yeah.
And when eventually na-lift na ang restrictions sa pandemic, the enthusiasm rolled on. And we're very thankful with Minda. Minda really is also pushing us because as a government agency, yung nako ba sila po sa limitations. Katawad si Raymond. But this is a very good partnership sa business, civil society, and government. No? Baka pwede kita yung magtrabaho. No, it's always difficult because if you look at the whole universe of Minreach, ang katong maging ig-o na to ang atong mga players, tanan, the consumers primarily. Sumunang advocacy. Pero galista na mo ng acceleration because of the urgency. No? So munang
advocacy before.
Yeah, it was advocacy when we started.
Okay.
But
tapos na
this
himog
year,
acceleration.
this phase, we changed it to acceleration because we saw the urgency. Dapat aware ta. Dagan tagimuon nga kuan. We're just first base ba, Sir Don? Dagan tagimuon like
basig mag Visayas Reach na o
Luzon
Reach.
Sa atong guest karon munta si Engineer James, nag-message sa kina, nag-local energy planning sila sa Butuan.
Aha.
On the 22nd, we'll be going to Davao for energy planning. Nag-ingon si Mayor Clarix, kanus ako nutang one Idris Cagayan para po sa energy planning sa Region 10, which is he is very excited to host with the province of Visayas Oriental. So, kuan lang. We need more people to participate. Apre, pero pasalamat kay ni sa Mindanao Go Solar kay ninduman ta nga mag-present din ni because I'm sure that after this new opportunities will come and more warm bodies and more people will go with us in this journey.
And I can really feel the momentum going actually for Minreach just based on the stories and the presentations that you're sharing with us. Can you please tell us kinsa ang current members aning Minreach and if naay mga interested nga sa consortium ba ni nga mo appeal or mo join or mo contribute sa Minreach, please go ahead kay basig natay mga onlookers sa atong mga viewers nga thinking about how they can help and accelerate the use of renewable energy on a bigger platform such as Minreach.
Okay. Ang Minreach actually is a jointly implemented nga project sa tulo ka organisasyon and representing the sector sa NGO, ang Peace and Equity Foundation, no? Naa diha ang MINDA, ang expertise, it's a government agency, Mindanao Development Authority, ang expertise mas naa sa policies, naa sa networks and partnership, na ang Ateneo de Davao University, ang ilahang MREC nga opisina. Diha nindot pod kay naa sila facility mismo sa various technology sa renewable energy, na solar, na sila gina-develop karon nga tidal. So this is an academe who is into research, no? So gatampo-tampo naatay expert on the policies, which is Minda, naatay sa research ang academe, ang Peace and Equity Foundation mas naa siya sa livelihood economic working nasa rural communities, but wala lang gahunong diha, no? Kay appeal pod sa ato dinhi ang mga kaubanan nga na expertise on sa technology. So mga kuano ang mga renewable energy nga mga experts. Napod ang because we network with Minda, appeal na pod ang mga networks nato bit-bit, no? Karay-karay nato dinhi, naa dinhi ang mga electric cooperatives, mga RE suppliers, of course ang mga youth, no, na gina-appeal na to. Of course ang mga NGO kay mas na daghan NGOs into the advocacy part. So open kini nga grupo, dili kini sarado nga grupo. We welcome all initiatives. That's why we are forming and strengthening the committees inside ang structure ni Minrich para tanan pwede mo appeal, whether you are good in the advocacy, you are good in networking, sa training, basig ang uban mas good on research. So welcome. Welcome kayo sa sulod ni Minrich. No?
Thank you, Sir Don. I cannot, you mentioned it, and I cannot help but ask, how do we engage young people adding a movement as someone part of the youth sector, no? And this is also being streamed on the Association of Young Environmental Journalists nga Facebook page. We have over 20,000 followers. Most of them are young people, so we could have a lot of young viewers here right now. How do we engage young people to be part of sometimes this very highly technical, gaka-intimidate kayo, daghan kay percentages, daghan kay targets, mabasig ma-lost in translation na ato mga kabatanunan, no? How do we do that? How do we talk to them? And how are we engaging? How is Minreach engaging with them currently? Sir Raymond, go ahead. Pa-unmute na lang nato si Sir Raymond.
Okay, there you go.
Go ahead, Sir
Okay.
Raymond.
Here's the thing. No, we are very much excited to work with the youth sector, especially if you are organized. No? If you work with associations, you work within clubs, okay, or professional organizations. No, organizations like your college academic organizations, yeah, your professional organizations, whether you're electrical engineers, civil engineers, even accountants or managements graduates. Organizations like Rotary Club, the Lions Club for the not so young, Junior Chamber International. These organizations, youth organizations, are involved in community projects, right? Right. Okay. Now, Minreach has the technical expertise. We have the data, we have the numbers, okay, and we have the expertise. We can teach and relay what we know to these youth organizations so that they can also go into community projects involving renewable energy, whether solar, hydro, or any, even biogas or biomass, or any other renewable energy project. It's not very difficult, going into the advocacy of renewable energy. It does not mean that we're going to electrify whole barangays, not even sitios. If youth organizations can pull in their resources and add a solar-powered panel to an off-grid barangay health center, which is going to provide light or refrigeration for their vaccines, which will go bad if it's not refrigerated. It's something that they can do. Okay? If you can electrify one barangay health center or one barangay hall or one preschool that is off-grid, then it's already making an impact in the lives of the students, in the lives of the teachers, in the lives of the community. You don't have to make it complicated. You don't have to think about huge targets of electrifying whole communities or barangays. If you can start with one house, one health center, one school, then you are already making a huge impact as a youth organization.
It's really about making it closer to them, making it more relatable to them, so that they know their stake, They know that they have a stake in this transition and in this vision for more cleaner future for the Philippines and for Mindanao. We are about to end our discussion, but I would just like to ask each of our panelists here, what do you want to say to the Mindanao public so they can support MinReach? We start maybe with Sir Dondon.
Ah, yung message ko lang is actually, ah, let's support mga renewable energy technologies. Let's participate in fora, in mga discussions. Let's use the social media to promote renewable energy. So, thirdly, kung pwede, support also policies, no? From the time na mo suluray or go in public na ang Philippine Energy Plan, please participate in the public consultation so that our voices will be heard dili lang sa mga social media platforms but also at the policy level. So, daghang salamat.
Thank you, Sir Dondon. Sir Raymond.
Okay. As I said earlier, it's going to take a whole of Mindanao approach. Let's talk about Mindanao na lang. Okay? It's going to take a whole of Mindanao approach. Whether you're from the public sector or in the private sector, we need to work on this together. And that's why we put up MinReach. Okay? Looking for people with the same values and with the same passion for renewable energy has got to be one of the most difficult things to start. But since the creation of MinReach, we already have a platform wherein we can see each other, wherein we can talk to each other, wherein we can share resources, and most of all, wherein we can work and communicate together to reach a greater number of people all throughout Mindanao. And now that we have a platform like MinReach, we would like to encourage everyone, especially you, Val, okay, to work with us to spread the word, about the practicality, about the usability, and, cost effectiveness of shifting to renewable energy, not just for our own homes, but for our businesses in our agriculture and fisheries as well. And that's going to require all of us to work together towards this goal of reaching our 50-50 mix by 2040 for Mindanao.
Thank you, Sir Raymond. And to close us off here in the studio, Sir Bansai, your message.
I was once invited to talk in a activity called Reboot Camp, Renewable Energy Boot Camp. And when I look at the profile of the participants, in their 20s, but one is on his third masteral, the other is on his third doctorate. We don't have to underestimate, we cannot underestimate the youth. Now, the youth have time, you are articulate, we need you to be the main communicators and eventually become adapters of that technology. Isa lang ako hangyo. Gamito na to ang atong pagkamarites o pagkatulits nga naday maayong balita sa renewable energy. Wanto mo dito sa River Boulevard, solar na ang lighting siya. Di na to hinaptan. No? So, pwede na enjoy mga tao na solar power na. So, gamito na itong energy na to sa atong pagkamarites o pagkatulit. So, gihultap balita ng itong current regime of power industry. So, we need to change. We have to take that power back by choosing renewable energy. And MinReach as a hub, we are a platform. Join us. Tell us also what we need to do more.
Thank you, Kaayo. This is very relevant because in the NGO that I founded currently, we have a project called the Sustainable Renewable Energy Ambassadors Program, where we train young people around 20 to 29 years old on sustainable and renewable energy, and then i-deploy namo sila sa mga RE institutions, si DOE REMB, among na partner, si WWF, Climate Reality. Had I known MinReach earlier, isa siguro sa among deployment partners ang MinReach. We are training them to be communicators for renewable energy. And I think that's also the kind of message that you sent out on needing to communicate the benefits, because people respond to benefits, people respond to incentives. And when we communicate our EUs in a way that will tell them what's in it for me, then I think it will not be as difficult to adopt behaviors that will make them use or be comfortable with using renewable energy. This has been such a productive conversation. I wish we had more time. Daghan pa kay kong pangutana from the personal to the professional. But Sir Dondon, Sir Raymond, Sir Bensai, thank you so much for setting aside time, energy, and really your expertise in telling us more about not only renewable energy, but the status of RE in Mindanao and the future that it holds for us as Mindanaoans. Thank you so much. And before I let you go, ako lang i-announce, no, nga our guests today are donating solar energy systems to an off-grid area in Mindanao. Wow, 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 wow. Yes, give yourselves a round of applause just because they participated in Solar Week Mindanao 2023. Ato mga comments sa Facebook, let's give them our hearts and loves and applauses, no? Let's thank them for their time, which allowed for this generous blessing of solar-powered electricity to energy-poor communities. And be sure to stay tuned to our social media channels for updates on that. Thank you so much again, Sir Bensai, Sir Dondon, Sir Raymond. I know this will not be the last time we will be in conversation. Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And again, to everyone online, thanks for being with us today. If I may read through some Facebook comments. Dire sa ato ang there we go. Francis Albert D. Fabe says, if you go solar, it's an advocacy, sir. Okay. Do you have any more comments here from Aubrey Baron? Go solar. Thank you, Aubrey, for joining us. Felvin also, let's go solar. Unsa pa ang atong mga comments dire from our friends? Daghan tag comments, no? Natay shout out. Lahi-lahi nga mga shout out from our comment section. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone, on our Facebook live stream. And remember, today is only the first day of Solar Week. Mindanao. Today is Mindanao Monday, and tomorrow is Technical Tuesday. So remember, the Solar Week exhibit runs until Friday. So go over there. If you're in Cagayan de Oro, I want you to run to Centrio Ayala Mall right now. And if you're in Davao City, run to Abriza Mall right now, because the solar exhibit is running there, and you are able to visit the booths of solar suppliers active in both northern and southern Mindanao. Find out about the solar services available in your region and win prizes while you're at it. Grabe, no? Daghan mog makatunan sa solar o sa renewable energy, plus makadaog pa mog mga papremyo sa pag-participate sa ilang mga activities. Murag kung ako nasa inyong posisyon, I will do whatever it takes to be there. Now, tomorrow is Technical Tuesday, and we are talking to Europeans about technical advancements in the solar industry in their regions. But guess what? Abi ni mo mag-British ta, they will talk to us in Bisaya. Ay, salamat, no? Kay ma-exercise ko na niya akong English, no? That's because they have done sustainability work here in Mindanao. So, I'm expecting mga AFAM nga mag-Bisaya, and I'm so excited to have that conversation with them. So, stay tuned for that. Remember, we are broadcast live on the Mindanao Go Solar Movement Facebook and YouTube channels, and our streaming partners, Ayedge, Business Week Mindanao, Mindanao Daily, and of course, Prof.org. That's it for me for Solar Week Mindanao 2023. This is Mindanao Monday. Catch you again tomorrow. Bye!